tell me something. Have you watched our previous video? If you have not watched that video, I really encourage you to watch that video before you actually start watching this one. I was with Precious. Hi. And we were talking about self-care in the process of your breakup. So I really encourage you to watch that video. We're gonna wait for you actually. Yeah, go watch that video. We'll wait. Yeah. Today we want to talk about self-worth after a breakup. Now, as many of you guys know, a breakup can be really taxing emotionally, and it can really do a lot of work on your self-worth, especially if you were in a toxic relationship or you were in a relationship in which your self-worth was just broken down to a place where you don't even recognize yourself, you don't even know who you are anymore. And you are second guessing yourself in the place of ministry. You're second guessing yourself in the maybe even in your career or just your achievements, because there's somebody that came shattered. Somebody just walked into your life and they basically made you second guess who you are. So today we want to have a conversation about self-worth. Tell me, where were you at self-worth wise just after your broken engagement? Like what are some of the things that you remember about that season?
That season was brutal. It was very brutal. I remember I remember one of the first conversations I had with you when we met was I was struggling to sing. Like, I'm in the praise and worship. I worship God through music. And I couldn't even stand and sing. I could not recognize myself anymore. I was less confident. I didn't know who I was. I even the way that I presented myself, even at work, like I know that I am very hardworking, but in some meeting rooms I'll just find myself quiet and not as vocal as I was previously. Like, it just felt like there was a part of me that was just ripped off. Like I didn't know who I was anymore.
Fam, like, I really relate. I totally relate, because like in my situation, I was dating somebody that was in ministry, and you know, when you break up with somebody that is in ministry and you're a woman, and I've spoken about this a little bit in a video that I will link right on top, but when you date somebody that is in ministry and you break up with them, and you're the one that didn't really have a title, society naturally will assume that you were the one that was wrong, and you then become the strange woman. You then become the person that's used in testimonies, and you know, you then become the person that's a subject of preaching examples, because naturally people will side with the person that is deemed to be spiritually mature. And because naturally it's like that, the dynamic is like that, you can feel it even in the questions that you get from people. People will ask you, how come you didn't try harder? People will ask you, did you pray about it? People will ask you, they won't even ask you, did you go for counseling? Because that's the person who they come to counseling for, right? It's like, did you were you respectful? Were you humble in the relationship? Were you submissive enough? And from those questions, my self-worth started to get chowed into. It was almost like with every question I was second guessing myself. Even if I really do it? Did I really do it?
Did I pray enough? Did
I pray enough? Maybe I should have fasted a little longer. Maybe I should have held on a little longer, even though you held on as much as you could. And I was even second guessing my own decisions. I knew deep down within me that I should have left way earlier. But because of these questions, like, it's like, okay, am I even still worthy for someone else to date me? And I speak about this a little bit as well, like in the video, that like sometimes people will say, well, you know, that's the girl that was engaged to that other man of God.
Stigma is real.
That stigma, guys, that stigma is so there. It is so there, and you have no idea how many women are going through that painful stigma. It's real. It's solidly real. So I think I relate, Precious relates. If you're going through something that's similar, or if you have a friend that's going through something similar like that, that your self-worth definitely takes a knock. So we want to talk about a few things that we personally did in our own journeys to just really build up and mend that self-worth again. So do you want to go for it, Presh? Like, what are some of the things that you did?
Okay, before I get to what I actually did, I'm feeling led to tell you that I struggled spiritually. Hey, I struggled to maintain that consistency in prayer. I didn't know. I mean, have you ever been at a place where you don't know what to tell God?
Oh yeah.
Like I felt like I was in that. I was in that place where I couldn't even, like. But God,
I would just sigh. I would say nothing. I would just be like, you cannot be serious.
Yeah,
this can't
be happening, God. So I think it's very, so if you're watching this, I just want you to know that it's very normal for you to feel this way, that way. And one of the things that I used to do that helped me to get out of that place was really listening to worship music. I would listen to uplifting music and just lay there and cry. And I think that was the best way to really connect with God for me, because my words were failing me. And I just felt like through music and I felt better connected with God, and it really helped me it gave me a sense of healing.
Yeah, the song that's in my head right now as she's talking is, I'm walking in power, I'm working miracles, I live a life of favor, cause I know who I am. If you're going to be listening to worship music, listen to music that reminds you of who you are, because you're trying to mend that self-worth, right? So you need to listen to music that's going to remind you, I'm the righteousness of Christ. I'm more than a conqueror through Christ who gives me strength. All things are working together for my good. I can do all things through Christ. Listen to stuff that reminds you who you are positionally in God. Worship is, I almost feel like worship washes your soul.
It does, because
so you don't have that.
Because you don't want to listen to songs that remind you of how broken you are.
You don't.
Like,
please stay away from those songs in the world that are just like very tiring and emotionally taxing. Listen to songs that are going to edify you.
And what are some of the things that you did?
Okay, so I was reading. I also surrounded myself with people that knew me. And I'm talking about me, like people who know you. There are people who know you. There are people who, if you're talking to them on the phone and they ask you how you're doing, you say, I'm good, how are you doing? They're like, no, how are you doing? Surround yourself with people that know you. Surround yourself with people that can remind you of who you are, even when you are forgetting who you are. So these were the people that I surrounded myself with. I was very meticulous about the people that I kept around, because I also, like you, like really, I shut down quite a lot of people. It was important for me to manage my space because I wanted to heal quick. I wanted to heal.
You just wanted to get out of that place.
And I wanted to get out of this hole. So get people that are going to remind you, listen, you're a cold person. Listen, you are still a woman of God. Listen,
God loves you
do you remember what God said to you during this season? People who remind you of the prophetic word spoken over your life. People who remind you of your calling and ministry.
People will tell you that you're not defined by the situation.
Totally. You've got to get people who know you for you and who are going to continuously remind you of who you are until you remember who you are.
One of the other things that I also did was to forgive myself. I think in the first video we spoke about how you need to own what you also contributed.
Absolutely.
So I had to forgive myself for some of the decisions that I made in the relationship. I had to forgive myself for staying in there. Like, sometimes you just know.
You should have tapped out of that thing way before. But you stayed because you pray, hey? Because you're a praying woman. You're gonna pray that thing out.
I'm gonna pray it out.
You're gonna fast it out.
So I had to forgive myself for staying long, for overlooking certain things that I overlooked, and
yeah. You've got to forgive yourself.
You gotta.
You have to. You have to forgive yourself for playing boo with the fool. You know, you was a fool for a little bit there, fool for love for a little bit there, and you gotta say, listen, you were a fool. You've got to love. I think you've got to laugh at yourself. You've got to laugh at yourself. You gotta say, ooh.
You know, like when you look back to some of the situations, you're like, but fam, what were you thinking?
What was I thinking?
Really?
Wow. I had settled for this. I forgive you, Melody, for settling for this, for believing that this was your best, for believing that you deserved what was happening to you in that moment, for believing
for
that,
losing yourself, for forgetting who you are.
Come on. You gotta forgive yourself. So forgiving yourself is part of mending your self-worth. Because through forgiveness, then you can really start relearning your value again.
Absolutely.
And I think that part of also mending that self-worth is rewriting your standards down again. Because I've noticed, Presh, that what happens in a relationship is while all this thing is going on, you slowly start picking one standard, looking at it, thinking to yourself, is this worth me losing a potential marriage? And you say to yourself, no. So you take a standard, a core standard, an important and powerful standard that is important to you, then you put it under the rag. The next time you take another one of your standards, look at it. Is this worth me losing my marriage? No. You take a standard, you put it underneath. Before you know it, you have no standard, you have no expectation. There is nothing that you're putting on the table as a value. You stand for nothing. Whatever is dished to you is what you eat. And you are in a relationship that you believe is going to last your whole life, and you've literally lost yourself. So in that season, while I was mending and God was healing me, I learned to rewrite those standards again and to be unapologetic about them. Unapologetically say, you know what, I need this. I need somebody to treat me this way. And it's important to me. I need it, and I'm not going to apologize for it. And if somebody can't offer it, joyfully, with godly love, thank you, brother, it was good knowing you, but I need this. This is a need. It's not a want. It's not just I just don't want it. I need it. It is a core need in my personal journey, and if you can't provide it, then I'm more than happy to step out of the way so you can find your own Ruth or Boaz. No, Boaz. Ruth or what are those other biblical women? That biblical woman, you know,
Esther.
That Esther. You know, find your own Esther.
I'm also thinking that one of the things that I learned during my journey is to learn to be assertive.
Wow, come on.
My no is a no, my yes is a yes. Because like you're saying, you get to a place where because you're trying so hard to preserve this marriage that's to come, you become such a yes person. Like, yes, shall we do this? Yes,
come on.
This, yes. And I've learned to say no.
And no is a full sentence.
It's a full sentence.
It doesn't need any qualification. No, full stop.
Full stop. Yeah,
it's a full sentence.
So being assertive, it's part of really.
If you keep saying yes so many times, you've got to ask yourself, are you truly in agreement? Because two people won't be able to walk together unless they're in agreement. And if you are creating a facade of agreement, but you are actually truly not in agreement, it's going to start manifesting in one way or the other. Whatever is going on within you is going to start coming out in one way or the other. And it's going to start manifesting in ways that you don't even know until you trace it back to the fact that, you know what, I don't even agree with 80% of the decisions that this man or this woman makes. And I am just but acting out what's expected of me. Ooh, that's deep. Come on. Deep. That's deep. We need to drink on that.
We need to drink on that.
Something else that I feel is important for us to share is learning to rebuke the lies of the enemy. When you are in a season where you're healing, you have to be able to identify the lies of the enemy.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to identify him as he's speaking to you. You have to be able to see that what you're feeling is not something that is coming from God. It is something that the enemy has planted and seeded in your spirit.
Yes.
And while you're in that moment, you have to learn to rebuke the lies of the enemy. So I remember in my personal journey, I would think about things like, oh my gosh, am I even going to date someone else after a broken engagement?
Yes.
To a pastor, like who
would want to be associated with
who is going to be associated to you? And this is literally like looking at it in hindsight, it's like,
really,
you know, because it's a lie, but because the lie is coming in a very sensitive season, it's coming in a very sensitive season of your life, you can easily believe it.
Absolutely.
And so if you're in that season, or you know somebody that's in that season, you've really got to teach them to identify the voice of the enemy, and whatever the enemy says is anything that is contrary to the word of God. Which means that you also now have to stay in the word of God. If you can't read the Bible, because I know there were times when I wasn't able to read the Bible, I was just like, God, you know what, me and you got issues. you let things happen to me that I'm not happy about, and I really had an issue. Like I really was struggling with God. We were going through something in our relationship because of what had happened in my relationship. I had a beef with them, and I literally was like, God, I'm hurt. Like I'm wounded that you would allow things like this to happen to me. And in that season, I had to stay in the word, but because I couldn't read my Bible, I had to surround myself with a lot of sermons, and I'll try to find a way to make sure that those sermons were ministering to my broken place, which was my heart. And so I'll find sermons on relationships, I'll find sermons on healing, I'll find sermons on wholeness. Pastor Tori Roberts like really ministered to me in a powerful way in that season. I actually have the book right now, and we're currently reading it with PT. So beautiful. So new beginnings. Anyways, listen to stuff. Feed yourself with the word. Feed yourself with the word and learn how to aggressively rebuke the enemy. Because whatever you starve, if you starve a lie that the enemy has seeded into your mind, then that lie literally will just vanish. But if you keep feeding it, if he says that you are not going to get married again,
and you believe it,
and you start feeding it, everything that you think about starts really creating a thing out of this thought.
It will show even in the way that you carry yourself. It will show in every area of your life. It will just be so visible.
It will be
so
visible.
You really need to rebuke the lies.
Totally.
You need to rebuke the lies.
You
mentioned wholeness. It's an amazing book.
Sure.
One of the things also that you need to, that I did in my journey, was reading books, and it's really one of the books that really ministered to me. It helps you to understand other people's journey, because people really, I mean, these experiences, they birth a lot of teachings, really. Like when you get to read what other people went through in their journeys, it inspires you to know that, hey, I'm not the only one who's going through this. If Tori Roberts could go through something like that and still remain as powerful as he is in ministry, then who am I to think that this is the end of my life? So you should read books. Try to get a couple of books. I think we'll also list down a few books, Melody, that we have read that you should probably read as well.
So guys, this was our video. We hope that you liked it. Please let us know in the comment section below. We want to hear from you. What are some of the things that you have personally done in your own healing journey, or that you have watched somebody that is close to you do in their own healing journey that you feel can be useful and helpful to somebody that's going through it right now in their own personal journeys? Please come in the comment section below. You know, we absolutely love to have you and to chat with you in the comment section below. Please give this video a thumbs up if it has been useful and helpful, and if you like these type of videos, please come in the comment section below and let us know, encourage us, so that we know the direction to take when we're making content, because we always want to make content that is useful and helpful and powerful to you and that is relevant. Absolutely. So guys, do you like Precious? Do you like Precious?
I like you.
I like Precious, and Precious likes you. So, she's gonna be coming. She's definitely gonna be coming back again on the channel. Precious, love you, Mama. Thank you so much for being a part of today's episode, and see you very, very soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I feel like this was a long video.
It was.
We're gonna find a way to make it
cut,
shorter.
yes.
'Cause I know people that have a very short attention span.
So true. What's the third one?
We knows you.
We know you.
Over it all your peace cannot be stopped, cannot be moved, it cannot be shared.